Hey you guys, my name's Josh and I'm out here at Lee Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, and right here behind me I have the legendary RAM TRX truck model. This is actually going to be the fastest production truck model in existence right now. It's going to have the 6.2 liter supercharged V8. That's going to be the same motor that goes in your Hellcats. It's going to be the same motor that goes in your SRT Durangos and your Jeep Grand Cherokee Trackhawks. And now they finally carried it over to the Rams, and wow, they really delivered on it. This truck is actually going to be engineered from the ground up, designed to be the ultimate speed machine, all tied together in a monstrous truck package. And I'm real excited to go over it with you guys, so let's go ahead and get right into it. So I'm starting things off with the wide shot of the vehicle here. And one of the things that you'll probably notice right off the bat is that this is going to be a lot more beefed up than your traditional Ram 1500. It's actually going to be a total of 8 inches wider than a traditional 1500 from fender to fender. And just the reason behind that is this truck is actually going to feature a completely re-engineered, reinforced steel frame, which is designed to handle all the new performance metrics that's available with this production model truck. And I'll get into all the details of that in a minute. Another thing I wanted to go over is the shock system on this truck. So this is actually going to have all new Bilstein Blackhawk E2 shocks that were specifically designed for the TRX. It's not going to be available on any other truck model, and it's going to allow for a total of 13 inches of suspension travel on the front and 14 inches of suspension travel on the rear. This is also going to come with 18-inch beadlock capable rims, and it's going to come on 35-inch all-terrain tires to just look absolutely monstrous. Also taking note of the bed, all Ram TRX models are going to come standard with a 5.7 bed. And what's really cool about this is this actually is going to have a deployable bed step. So you can see right here, it's just sticking out from the edge. I can kick it out and it pops out and gives you easier accessibility getting into the bed. And one of the things that's really nice about that is it's really concealable. I mean, you wouldn't be able to notice that it's there. I can just kick it right back in and you'll never know that was there. You can see we're also going to have these 2 dual exhaust tips on the back, and you can see we're going to have 2 tow hooks in the back as well as a Class 4 receiver. One of the things I really like about the TRX as well is going to be the dual tone paint job. So you can see up top we're going to have this beautiful billet silver coloration, and then on the lower half we're going to have that beautiful black diamond crystal metallic, which I think pairs nicely, extremely well with the black badges and black accents. And you can see we're going to have these rugged off-road step rails as well, which just add overall to the beefy characteristic of this vehicle. This is also going to be a pretty tall truck with the all-new beefed up suspension system equipped with the tires and rims. You're looking at about 11.8 inches of ground clearance on the front. So coming around to the front of the vehicle, you can see we have this massive scoop that's built into the hood of the vehicle, and that's actually going to act as a functional air intake for the 6.2 liter supercharged V8. And you can also see we have these really nice orange exterior light accents that are built into the scoop as well. You know, the front end overall is just designed to look way more aggressive and way more beefy up front. I really like the design of it. It's actually, if you notice, it was inspired by the Rebel. And like I mentioned before, it's going to be a total of 8 inches wider than a traditional 1500, and that's to account for additional air intake features that are going to help with aerodynamics to the actual cooling of the motor. And it's also going to integrate these beautiful LED headlamps with the LED daytime running lamps going around the exterior. And just like you have your tow hooks in the back, you're going to have 2 additional tow hooks in the front as well, which is something that's really nice to have. So taking a look underneath the hood, like I mentioned before, we're going to have the 6.2 liter supercharged V8. It's going to be the same motor that goes in your Hellcats, the SRT Durangos, and the Grand Cherokee Trackhawks and that kind of thing. And they did a really good job of incorporating it into the Rams. You can see we still have a lot of cabin space available. You still have access to all of your fluids, your battery, and that kind of thing. And a little bit about the motor, it's going to be a whopping 702 horsepower, and it's going to include a total of 650 foot-pounds of torque, which is absolutely monstrous. It's actually going to have a 0 to 60 time of about 4.5 seconds, which is absolutely insane on a truck this size. You gotta think, this thing is massive to be going that fast. The motor is going to feature a high-performance air induction system that filters out 4 times the debris that a Ford Raptor would. And the cast iron engine block is designed to withstand up to 1,595 PSI, which is the equivalent of 20,000 pounds of force. So this is nothing to sneeze at for sure. Also, just a cool little Easter egg for the TRX. You can see this cover panel right here has the TRX logo up here. Well, if we just pick this up and lift it up, you can see we have a graphic of a Tyrannosaurus Rex with a raptor clenched in its jaws. I don't know, maybe it's just Ram throwing a little bit of shade, but anyways. Not only did Ram re-engineer every aspect from the performance metrics of the vehicle, but they pulled out all the stops in the interior as well. So taking a look, you can see we're going to have this beautiful leather and Alcantara interior that's stitched together with immaculate quality. You'll be hard pressed to find like plastic parts and things that just don't feel good in this kind of space. You're also going to get this really nice red stitching and red interior accents stitched into the leather and all around on the inside of this vehicle. And that's going to be akin only to the TRX model, in which you can also see we're going to have the TRX logo stitched into both of the seats. Another thing to mention is that this truck is going to be equipped with the carbon fiber package. So you can see we're going to have these really nice interior accents on the dash and on the inside of the door panels and that kind of thing. This really does a lot to tie together the quality of the interior of the vehicle. Another thing to mention too is that you're going to have a TRX nameplate that's going to be on the top of the center console. You can see it's going to have the logo, the motor, and it's also going to have the VIN number on it. So you can know exactly which TRX you have and where it's been, or something that's really nice. One of the major redesigns in the interior of this vehicle is you can see we're going to have a traditional shifter like what you would find in a car or something like that. Normally on Rams, you would have the shifter knob that's going to be located beside your four-wheel drive buttons and that kind of thing. You can see it's going to be a little bit different up here. I'll go over that in a minute, but it just feels really good, especially to have something performance related like this, to have like a shifter that you could put your actual hands on and move. I just thought that was a really nice quality that they added to the truck. You're also going to get a high performance flat bottom steering wheel with the paddle shifters as well, because you know you need paddle shifters when you have a Hellcat motor in any vehicle whatsoever. And again, mentioned before, you can see we're going to have the carbon fiber on it with the Alcantara and the leather stitched together. It just feels really robust. It feels really nice. This truck is also going to feature the Harman Kardon upgraded audio system. It's going to be one of the nicest audio systems that's available in any vehicle whatsoever. It's actually going to have a total of 19 speakers placed all throughout the truck, available with a complete surround sound as well, just to give the best audio listening experience. Another thing that I wanted to go over really quick is even though this truck is totally geared towards the performance aspect in every way possible, you still have a ton of safety features that's available with it. So you can see we're still going to have the stuff like the blind spot monitoring system and cross path detection, as well as the lane departure warning and lane departure assist, in which it will pull you back into the lane. And you can also see it's going to be equipped with the full forward collision warning and the adaptive cruise control, which is going to set the following distance behind the vehicles that you're driving down the road behind. You know, and I think it's really interesting that they equip all these really nice features with the truck that's just geared towards the performance aspect. It really offers something for everybody. And taking a look at the console area, you can see we're going to have this really nice wireless charging pad as well as a phone stand. It's just something that's really nice to have, and it's very innovative. I especially like the gap in the middle of the phone stand that's designed to have cables run to feed through and feed into the USB ports if you decide you want to use Apple CarPlay or Android Auto. And taking a look in the actual console, you can see underneath we're going to have our gauges and converger tables right here. And taking a look at the bottom of the center console, it's just Ram throwing a little more shade. So you can see we're going to have a person standing next to the truck, and then over on next to the truck we're going to have a TRX completely dwarfing what a Raptor would be. Maybe it's just Ram really trying to call something out there. A little bit about the infotainment system that's with this truck. It's actually going to come with the 12-inch Uconnect display, and there's a lot of really cool advantages that come with this display. It's actually going to be the largest screen that's available in any production vehicle, and you can see we're going to have like split screen functionality that's completely customizable to your preferences. And if you want a little bit more information on the Uconnect display, I actually did another video going into further detail on how to operate it and the different features that are available with it, which you can look at here. Next, I just wanted to go over all the different drive modes that were available with the TRX. So like I mentioned before, you can see your controls on the dash are going to be a lot different than what you have available on the traditional Ram 1500. One of which being you have this really cool launch control button that has like the drag light strip on it, which is something that's really cool. I actually really like that. So you can see this truck is going to be full-time four-wheel drive, so it's never going to be in two-wheel drive. And you have the option of going into four-wheel high, four-wheel low, and you can also do your rear axle lock for rocking the differential. And over here you can see we have different drive modes that are available. So going through all the different drive modes that are available with it, I wanted to start off with the sport mode. So with the sport mode, it's going to feature quicker shifts on the transmission. It's also going to feature a lot tighter suspension, so you're not going to have as much suspension travel on the sport mode. And it's going to feature a 30 to 70 torque split from the front and the rear. So going over to the snow mode, it's actually going to feature a 45 to 55 torque split from the front to the rear. And it's going to feature real-time wheel slippage for the differentials as well. Going over to the mud and sand mode, it's also going to feature a 45 to 55 torque split, and it's got a specially calibrated throttle management system specifically designed to make sure you get the best traction in your mud and sand terrains. Going into rock mode, it's going to feature a full 50-50 split from the front and the rear, and it's going to shift into an extremely low gear ratio just to make sure you have maximum torque for getting over those obstacles. Going over to Baja mode, this is going to be like your fun mode over here. You're going to have 68% faster shift times, and it's going to feature the full dampening suspension, so be able to get all the travel out of your suspension out of that. And then in the custom mode, which is really cool, you can actually dial your own personal preferences for steering, torque, and suspension. Another thing that's been integrated in a lot of the newer Ram models that carries over into the TRX is you're actually going to have like a digital camera for your rear view mirror, which is something that's really nice. You can utilize the buttons to adjust the height of the camera that you're viewing as, and if you want, you can also flip the switch down and it's going to turn into a traditional mirror. So like I said before, it offers something for everybody. I also really wanted to go over the amazing quality of the back seat as well. So Ram is actually going to have the largest production cab size available on the market right now, and it really shows. I mean, I have plenty of leg space available, and one of the advantages of that is the seats actually recline. So I can grab them in the middle right here, slide them forward. I can sit back and enjoy the ride, which is extremely nice. And another thing to mention too is the interior quality, as far as like the leather and the stitching and everything like that, is going to carry over back here as well. It's extremely comfortable. It feels so nice to sit in. You can also see this middle part is going to come down as well, and you have an additional console as well as cup holders, which is something that's really nice. And you're also going to have additional USB ports in the back for convenience, as well as heated and ventilated seats in the second row. I mean, you couldn't really ask for anything more. All right, you guys, that's going to wrap up my video on the TRX. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me on Facebook. Be sure to like and share the video. It really helps me out, and I'll see you guys in the next one that I make.